No, it still says in practice session. Okay.
Okay, we are good to go.
Okay.
And all right, all yours.
All right. Hello, everybody. Today's Professional Services Committee meeting is being held on September 12th, 2024. We will begin with the roll call, please. Ms. Prater?
Miss Emily Kincaid, Dr. Shanna Tharp Gilliam,
Did we lose her?
I said present. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now we can. Now we can.
Oh, okay. Present.
Miss Sylvia Wilson.
Here.
Include, yeah.
That's it. All right. Thank you. On today's agenda, we do not have any informational items, so we're going to move directly into action items. The first action item is a motion to recommend modification of service authorization 350 to AE Works for a 6-month no-cost time extension to complete the services during construction scope of work for contract 1759, which is ALCOSAN's environmental compliance facility. Ms. Williams, an explanation, please.
Madam Chair, AE Works has been with us as part of the 2-phase construction project. I want to make sure I said it right. So we started with the garage and then added the environmental compliance facility. They have been diligent in their work. We retained them through construction and had anticipated that we would be wrapped up by now. We just got a few more months to go to completely close out the environmental compliance facility, which you will be able to see a portion of if you come to the ALCOSAN open house on Saturday, September 14th at 9 a.m. And with that, completely appropriate and shameful self-promotion, I will ask our manager of capital projects, Jeff Ardros. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Jeff?
That's actually exactly where I was going with it, Arletta, but thank you for that. And Madam Chair, this is just an extension of 6 months to bring us to that finish line. We are just a couple months away from starting to actually transition in there. As Arletta said, we are opening it up on Saturday for really the first time for anybody to get in onto that first floor, which is the laboratory. This is an exciting facility. It's a beautiful facility, if I say so. And honestly, it's going to house some critical tasks for the next 50 plus years. I think it's something that ALCOSAN is really going to be proud of for that next 50-year period. A lot of compliance tasks are going to be done within that building, and compliance is one piece of ALCOSAN's overall vision. So it is something that we are very excited for. And with that, the recommendation is put forth for the no cost time extension for AE Works through December 31st of 2024.
Yes, this is an exciting time. I remember how the other one was, and it was a part of the tour. We used to go in. So this will be kind of exciting to see what we can on Saturday. Thank you. Miss Dr. Gilliam,
Just
Dr. G.
Anna.
Dr. G. Do you have any questions? If not, I'll accept a motion to approve.
motion. I do not have any questions. I would like to make a motion to recommend this modification.
Thank you so much. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
It's approved to recommend to the full board. Item B is a motion to recommend the approval of service authorization to HF Lens Engineering under the agreement for engineering consultant services for an amount not to exceed basically $244,000 to perform the scope of services under capital project S492 for the miscellaneous HVAC improvements project. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, the board awarded the contract to HF Lenz in July and authorize us to negotiate a fee. We're bringing that fee back. Miscellaneous HVAC work sounds kind of mundane. However, I'm going to have a tag team approach on enlightening the committee. Jeff?
Sure. I'll open the floor up to Doug to talk to maybe some of the specific items. As far as the miscellaneous HVAC, I think the term miscellaneous gets thrown out a lot, but I think this might be one of the most appropriate utilizations of that term because we are hitting quite a few facilities with this. With that, Doug, if you'd like to speak to a couple of them, or
Yep, for sure. Thanks, Jeff. Madam Chair, throughout our 59-acre campus, we have a variety of heating, ventilating, and air conditioning needs. We've accumulated a Post-it full of some of those needs. So this project ranges from, on the heating side, as you know, we actually have steam on site from our incineration process as a heating source that most folks don't have available. We also have some natural gas and a little bit of heat pump as well. One of the aspects of this project is to actually convert the energy source from one source to the other, while the East Head Works utilizes a little bit more of the steam. We also have cooling needs of a very important process, the main pump station. We need to add a little bit of robustness to what we have there right now for reliability, for cooling needs of some of the equipment in that area. And then there are a variety of other existing buildings that we've reached the end of the useful life, and it's beyond the scope of our staff to do the repair. So we reached out to our engineering department to put a project together, and they went through the appropriate solicitation. And Jeff, I'll throw it back to you for how that process went.
Sure. As was mentioned, HF Lenz was awarded the project to have the negotiations occur following that meeting. The cost proposal was opened after that meeting, and the procurement committee did review that cost proposal. We compiled some comments, handed them back to HF Lenz. We met with HF Lenz on August 15th to discuss those comments and to have some back and forth in terms of the negotiations. They did provide a subsequent resubmittal of their costs based on those discussions and those comments. And overall, we are very pleased with where the cost landed as far as the design services for this project. So the recommendation to the Professional Services Committee is to award an amount not to exceed $244,383 to HF Lenz for this scope.
I don't have any questions. I would like to make the motion to recommend approval of
Thank you.
service authorization.
And I second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, approved. Item C is a motion to recommend the awarding for the evaluation design of the solar power generation for the operations and maintenance building, which we just say O&M, to McKim and Creed, and to authorize the executive director to negotiate a fee. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, the committee shortlisted firms to be able to participate in providing proposals for this work in July as well. The results were received. An internal committee of staff reviewed and have come back with this recommendation. Once again, we'll go to the new dynamic duo, Jeff.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Arletta. Madam Chair, as far as the solar power generation for the O&M building, this is something, obviously, it's very important as far as the sustainability aspect of ALCOSAN and the long-term operation of our existing facilities. As we pull on the electrical demand, those are additional bills that we can, in addition to the sustainability aspect, we can look to offset our own electrical bills. So as far as the scope and the specific scope items, Doug, I'll open up the floor to you.
All right, thanks, Jeff. I can't help but note the absence of Director Kennedy, who would normally handle these things. It clearly takes two of us to replace the one of the one of her. So our O&M building, it's hard to believe it's been 10 years since we've had the building. When the building was originally designed and constructed, it was a sustainable building. So it was a LEED certified building that had many sustainable features to it. Solar wasn't contemplated as one of them at that time. There is a variety of, there's a patio that uses and facilitates some of the stormwater recovery on the patio area. There is a gray water recovery system. So there were already some sustainability features in the building itself. The solar aspect kind of spawned out of, and it's been talked about and budgeted for some time now. It is not our first solar project that we have, so we do have solar experience. So our vehicle maintenance garage that's down the road does have a solar array on its roof. While it's challenging a little bit to find a large, flat, unused surface, here on the site, we did identify the roof of the O&M building as being a location where not so visible, but certainly of a size that could be impactful to the sustainability of the building itself. So we approached engineering. Obviously, they went through the process to not only do the electrical side, but you're putting some heavy things on a roof and you want to make sure the roof can sustain that. It is not, I don't think, going to be planned to replace all of the energy that the building needs, but ultimately, as the design proceeds along, I'm sure we'll have photos of what it looks like. But the roof of the O&M building houses the majority of the staff. It houses many divisions, including bargaining unit staff and the craftsmen on the backside. So when we're thinking about the roof, it's not the tall building roof, it's actually the building on the backside that you don't necessarily always see. So there's plenty of space that's out there. We're really excited about the project. And with regard to the solicitation of the project, I'll go ahead and pass it back to Jeff.
Okay, thank you. As was mentioned, we had shortlisted to 3 firms at the July board meeting, or at the July Professional Services Committee. We did receive 3 proposals from each of those firms as of the middle of August. Over the next 3 weeks, the procurement committee did review those proposals thoroughly, and we met as an evaluation team on September 5th, which is ultimately where we landed as far as discussing the pros and the cons of each team. And we're very pleased with McKim and Creed's proposal in terms of the strength of the individuals that are put forth for the team, but also their especially relevant project experience. And when I say that, mostly as far as within the state of Pennsylvania, but also within Southwestern Pennsylvania specifically. It's important when looking at a project like this that they understand the local landscape. So with that, the recommendation to the Professional Services Committee is to award the evaluation and design of solar power generation for the O&M building to McKim and Creed.
Thank you so much. Dr. G,
Yeah, no questions. So moved.
thank you. I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that's approved. Item D is a motion to recommend the award for the final design. Let's imagine the final design of the Allegheny River Tunnel to WSP USA Inc. and to authorize the executive director to negotiate a fee. Ms. Williams.
Madam Chair, with as much talk as the committee and the board and the world has heard about the Ohio River Tunnel recently, we've had multiple outreach events with respect to the ORT. And we are rapidly approaching the initiation of construction of the Ohio River Tunnel. With all of that being the case, there are 2 other tunnels that will have to be addressed, and this will initiate the process for the Allegheny River Tunnel. As you said, final design. It will be a lengthy process, and there will be lessons learned from the ORT design experience that we've had. It
Thank you.
is such a fulfillment to be able to get to this point where we're actually talking about the second tunnel, which is undeniably the best return on investment for this region to address the overall wet weather issues. We had 4 firms that the committee shortlisted in May of this year. And as you have read, we are proposing WSP. I am going to turn it over to a young man you are going to hear more and more from in the coming months, years, because he is our internal tunnel program manager, Sean McWilliams. Sean, who is inappropriately identified on screen as Mike, but he's still Sean. Sean, tell them all about the ART.
Okay. Thank you, Arletta. Madam Chair, the Allegheny River Tunnel, or ART, as we'll start to call it, is the second of the 3 tunnel projects that we'll be bidding. And as we advance this to final design in the ALCOSAN Clean Water Program, as mentioned, it picks up a large percentage of the combined sewer overflow. So this is where a lot of the water quality benefits start to be seen. This tunnel will begin on our access shaft 1 site, which is where we launched the ORT from. And it's located on Pittsburgh's north side between the I-579 Veterans Bridge and the 16th Street Bridge. And this ART will advance northward along the Allegheny River up towards the Washington Boulevard and Highland Park area. It'll be consisted of 6.2 miles of concrete lined tunnel that'll be 18 foot in diameter, and it'll be mined by a tunnel boring machine. As I mentioned, it'll mine from the AS1 site, and it'll head uphill towards the final destination by Washington Boulevard. This tunnel will be approximately 120 to 150 foot in depth below the ground surface. And it will also include, in the 6.2 miles of tunnel, there'll be 13 drop shafts, 4 active control gates, and 15 near surface structures that'll be consisting of diversion structures and outfalls. Of the 4 proposals that we received, all of which were from highly qualified teams, we reviewed them with a staff panel of 9 ALCOSAN technical staff members. The proposals were all reviewed thoroughly, and we met in interviews with each firm or team. And it has to be said that the effort and resources that each team put forward was quite evident and greatly appreciated by ALCOSAN. So after evaluating all of the proposals and teams, it's the recommendation of the reviewing group to recommend the final design of the Allegheny River Tunnel to WSP USA Incorporated.
No, I do not have a question about that very thorough explanation about the ART. So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion for that recommendation of the award.
And Madam Chair, you're going to come off mute.
See, it did it all by itself. I didn't do it myself. I was going to say my descriptor of this whole thing and where we are right now, my descriptor, I already forgot, Ms. Williams, what your description was, but mine was satisfaction that we have gotten to this point. It is so satisfying to know that we are here and getting ready to see what we keep talking about. And it just
Wow.
is really satisfying to me. All right, and I second this motion.
Yeah, it's been a very long
All-
process.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, all four of these items have been approved by this committee and will be presented to the full board when we meet as a full board this month. We have no new business. And so we will adjourn. Our next meeting will be, next Professional Services Committee meeting will be October the 10th.
10.
I thank everybody for all that you've done, put all this together. Again, this is just so great to hear all the progress that we're making. Thank you all.
Madam Chair.
Uh-oh, so, don't forget
Yep.
tomorrow. That means
Yep.
Saturday is
Saturday.
Saturday,
We talked about
Saturday.
ORT, ART, OHD, open house day. As a matter of fact, we're going to throw the QR code up
Uh-oh, uh-oh,
and access to it. If you want to know what OH
uh-oh.
is, what it's about, scan and know. Then flush and follow the flow. Yep, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Boom! Thank you, committee.
All right. Thank you.
See you all on Saturday.
Saturday.
See you Saturday.
All right. Bye-bye.